So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending our first webinar in a series that we're doing this summer for incoming students, class of 2025 and their families. My name is Lou DiLoretto, I'm the principal. And this is an example of something we did learn from COVID. And we did these last summer just to get families oriented with EO Smith. And we thought it was a good idea to piece together information as we went through the summer. And a good place to start is with athletics because there is some preparation involved if students are going to play a fall sport. And we thought it was a good idea to just quickly introduce our coaches. And I'm going to turn it over in a minute to Dan Uriano, our athletic director, who's going to take you through the program briefly, some things you can do this summer, and I know there's forms, and how to access coaches if you have any questions. I will be looking at the Q&A and may interrupt Dan, or we'll just address whatever questions you have. This is designed to be an overview, so you can see where you can access medical clearance forms or coaches' information. I will tell you before turning it over to Dan that we are thrilled to hear from the CIAC that we're a go. This meeting last year, we were we don't know what we're doing. But we know the impact of a loss of co-curriculars like sports has on kids and families and ourselves. I found myself last fall actually missing standing out in the cold at a football game in late October. If that makes any sense. So I'm looking forward to that coming up this year. So we're glad to be a go, and hopefully that continues. So thank you for coming in. We are recording this. We will send it out. But again, the important information to get out there before the summer really gets going. And athletics is key for us. So Dan, at this point, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Principal DiLoretto. I'm Dan Uriano, the athletic director, and super excited that we're going to have a full slate of sports for the fall. A couple of fun facts for everyone is the athletic department has something for everyone. So we'd encourage you to get involved in one of our many sports. We've got 23 programs and over 46 teams throughout the school year. And I do have some coaches here that are going to give you a quick wave so you can connect a face with the sport. But when I take you through the website, it's going to have all the information you need to get in contact with the right people for you to get involved. But let's start out with just a few introductions. I'll ask the coaches to wave. We'll start with our rowing and crew program. We offer club crew in the fall and then a full varsity program and novice and JV program in the spring. And Sam Clark is our coach. Sam, if you can give a wave. Moving down, we've got 3 levels of boys soccer. Mike Rattleback is our program coach for boys soccer. Again, we've got a full slate of programs from 9th grade all the way to 12th grade. James Kelly is our football coach. Girls tennis, Morgan Adams. Boys and girls swimming. We offer girls swimming in the fall, boys swimming in the winter, and that's Coach Dan Furman. Boys cross country this fall, Greg Tutelo. Cross country, indoor track and outdoor track, assistant coach Rachel Burkowski. Boys basketball, Coach Ron Pyers. Boys and girls indoor and outdoor track, head coach Darren Dale. We've got volleyball, all 3 levels of volleyball. Head program coach is Diane Vampatella. And for boys lacrosse, we have Scott Dunstan. We offer JV and varsity. So we offer, like I said, 46 teams across 23 programs. These are the coaches that could attend today. But I'm going to show you everything that we have to offer in just 1 second. Let me share my screen. Okay, so if you head over to the EO Smith webpage and you run your mouse over athletics, you can click on news and information. And this is going to give you everything that you need to know in order to get ready for the fall, including the sports that we offer for the fall. So a couple highlights here are, if you have any questions, of course, email me or Miss Cozen. My email is diuriano@eosmith.org, and hers is also here. Starting on July 6th, anyone who wants to do some conditioning, if they're not sure if they want to, if you're not sure if you want to do field hockey or swimming or soccer, this is open to any EO Smith student. So starting on July 6th, our weight room will be open from 9 to 12:30. We're transitioning to a new trainer, but I'll have more information on that, but you can just send me an email and we can assign you a time slot and you can start to just get prepped for the fall. Several of our programs are offering their own strength and conditioning. So what you'll want to do is, if you want to play football, you're going to want to reach out to Coach Kelly beforehand to get the hours that he's meeting with the kids. Boys soccer, girls soccer, etc. But if you just want to do your own thing and you just want to get in shape and fit for the fall, or you want to maybe commingle or interact with some other kids, you can just come between that 9 and 12:30 time slot for our weight room starting on July 6th. So email me if you'd like more information about that. In order to participate in the fall, there's a whole bunch of forms that you need to fill out to get cleared. You do not need to get any sort of clearance to participate in summer conditioning programs. But once the season starts, which is on August 26th, we've got key dates here. On August 26th, you have to be fully cleared by the nurse's office in order to try out for sports. So you do not need to do that to attend any of the summer conditioning. But once the season officially starts for all sports except football on August 26th, you will need to have your athletic clearance. So again, in the news and information page, it'll go a little bit more in depth with dates when you can get your athletic clearance, as well as the key dates for when football starts and when our other sports start. We also have a listing here of our coaches' names and the program that they coach, as well as their contact information. So this is going to be a useful page for you. As we go back over to the athletic side here, again, if you want to know who the coaches are and what sports that we offer throughout the whole school year, they're listed here. And again, it's important that you contact the head coach. They oversee the entire program. So even though we've got a varsity boys soccer coach, a JV boys soccer coach, and a freshman boys soccer coach, it'll be Coach Rattleback that you're going to want to direct your questions to. And that goes for all of our sports. It's always the head coach you reach out to because they're the ones that are going to be designing the tryouts and getting the season underway. Now, the last thing I'm going to direct you to is the resources and forms. In order to participate and start on August 26th, here are the forms that you're going to need to fill out. And it tells you who you need to submit these forms to. So there's the health record form. This is just going to ask you a history so that the nurse's office knows if you've got any conditions that they need to know about. It's got the medical exam form. So you need to have a physical that's dated within the last 13 months. What's important to know is in order to participate in athletics, your physical needs to be within 13 months. That's different than if you're just attending school. I believe if you're just attending school, it needs to be within 2 years. But for athletics, it does need to be in the last 13 months. And then as we move through here, you're going to find all the information that you need and needs to be submitted back to us. The one question mark is this impact test. I will send out a separate communication before August 26th. Every ninth grader has to take what's called an impact test. It's not a pass or fail kind of thing. It's just to get baseline information so that if you sustain a head injury, the athletic trainer would re-administer the test to make sure that your brain activity has returned to normal. So every 9th grader and every 11th grader or every new student does have to do that. I'll send out a little bit more information with a link on how to take that assessment at home. And I think that pretty much covers everything you absolutely need to know in order to participate in athletics at E.O. Smith High School. So at this time, our schedules are also posted here, but they won't be finalized until you could pick any of the sports here. They will not be finalized until shortly before August 26th because we only input our home games, and other schools, we're still waiting on them to import their games. So at this point, I think I'll open it up first to Mr. DiLoretto if he's got any questions that he thinks I have not covered, or if anyone has any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat and we'll go right through them.
So there is one in the Q&A. Do we only need to send the forms in by August 26th if we're planning to do fall sports, or is it for all sports?
If you plan, it's only for fall sports, but all of those same forms will need to be filled out prior to tryouts for the season that you want to participate in. So usually the Monday after Thanksgiving is when winter sports start. And usually right around March 17th or so is when spring sports will start.
Dan, there was another question about the girls ice hockey co-op. And my reply was that we will put that information up. But do you have anything to share, as there's a interested party here in this audience?
Give me 1 second. Am I still sharing my screen or no?
Yes.
Okay. There we go. Okay, girls ice hockey co-op. We co-op with Suffield High School, and all that information will go out. I'll post it on the website with the coach's contact info if it's not already here. It's not here, so I will post that on the website. But any female is eligible to participate in our girls hockey program. Or if you want to play on the boys' side, you can play on the boys' side, and there's pros and cons to both. So I think whoever has the question should email me separately. If you play in the girls' ice hockey co-op, you can play on a girls' club or travel team. If you play on the boys' hockey team, you cannot play in any other hockey program during the season. And the reason for that is because the boys are regulated by the CIAC. The girls are not regulated by the CIAC. So you should definitely reach out to me separately. I'd be happy to have a conversation or meet with any of the families that want to do girls ice hockey.
There are a couple more about physicals, Dan. One is tryouts start on the 26th. So there's an appointment for a physical that morning. Is that okay? It's cutting it close. Do you have a recommendation there?
Yep. So the recommendation would be, number one, communicate with the nurse's office. They're the ones who ultimately give the approval or the seal. And number two is communicate with the coach. So on the 26th, if you're doing soccer, often there's a tryout in the morning and a tryout in the afternoon, and all athletes are expected to be at both sessions. So if you're able to move it earlier, that would be my recommendation. If not, we'll work with you and we'll make sure that you have an opportunity to get going on the 26th.
Right. And these forms are for each season or one for the year? So
you
if you
need
play
one,
multiple sports?
You only need them for most of the forms you only need for the whole year. There are a few forms. Let me just get back here. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. So there are, like, the impact test, you only have to take once. The sports participation health record form, you only fill out once. But the emergency contact form, you'd have to fill out before each season because you have a different coach. But most everything, you just fill it out once for the year.
The next one is about cross-country specifically, but I think it can be answered in general for all sports. What they're asking is, what are the requirements for preparation for each sport? And I know that comes up every year. There are no requirements. However, if you've got goals and you want to be ready, there are certain things that you should do. So I would contact that coach sooner rather than later, and they can put you on some sort of recommended program. Do you want to add anything to that, Dan?
If any coaches want to just maybe do a quick overview what they are looking for when kids come into tryouts, but generally speaking, the expectation is incoming freshmen should be working out regularly throughout the summer. Some of the components of tryouts, particularly for boys and girls soccer, are to complete a 2-mile run. I think Coach Rattleback, I think he prefers you be under 12 minutes, or he would like you as close to 12 minutes as possible. Girls soccer, I think, is 14 minutes, but go ahead, Coach Rattleback.
We've changed the fitness test. We're doing a beep test for this year. And if you email me, I can get you all the information, audio for that, then also some videos that'll demonstrate how to do it. So just reach out and we'll make sure you are prepared.
Other coaches, Coach Kelly?
Our guys, we like, obviously be prepared, and we offer, email me. I can, obviously get you all the information we have for workouts. We have 5 days a week going right now. So email me at jkelly@eosmith.org.
All right, I know you're having the football guys lift throughout the summer on a schedule. Is our freshmen welcome to come to that, Coach?
Absolutely. Freshmen have been coming so far, and we encourage them to be here to work out and get used to their teammates, and obviously prepare and help in injury prevention as well. So.
And what about Greg and Rachel for cross country?
Yeah, we're going to be offering strength and conditioning sessions. Timing for that hasn't been decided yet, but that's going to start in July. If you send me an email, I'll respond and I'll add you to my email list, and I'll give you more information. For all the incoming freshmen, I have a running plan that I send out, so it's something they could follow. For cross country, I'd say really this is a sport where your performance relies entirely on your fitness level. So coming into the season with a good base is really critical for having a successful season and for staying healthy, as we talked about injury prevention.
All right.
I would say that's the case with all sports.
All right,
Dan,
go ahead.
I frequently get questions from parents about, what's the approach to the freshman level, JV level as compared to the varsity level, and what's the expectation and progression as we move up those levels?
That's a great question. So the general philosophy for the school and the athletic department is at the freshman level, it's everyone plays and it's generally equal playing time. At the JV level, everyone will get playing time, but it's not always equal playing time. And then at the varsity level, there is no guarantee of playing time. It's complete and total merit-based and performance-based. So there are some sports where there's a limited number of athletes you can put on the court and a limited number, that you can have on the bench if you want to be fair. So specifically basketball and volleyball, sometimes there are cuts that we make through the tryout process. The last couple of years, we've not needed to make cuts in any other sports other than volleyball or basketball, but you're going to want to communicate with specifically volleyball and basketball coaches about the criteria going into tryouts. But we do our very best to keep as many kids activated in sports as possible, and to give them a great experience.
Another question that comes up is around goal setting, and maybe Dan, you can start and turn it over to one or two coaches about setting goals for yourself and athletics. We have found that the long-term goals that are set now beyond high school or senior year, it may be too soon for that. So do you recommend breaking goals up? These are your goals for the summer, then reevaluate for whatever season they are. I know that a lot of parents try to guide students in setting reasonable goals and manageable timeframes.
Yeah, that creating SMART goals, specific, measurable, timely, reasonable, is critical for individual growth and development of our athletes. So all of our coaches, whether it's through film review, whether it's through game breakdown, or whether it's setting a series of micro goals towards a macro goal, all of our coaches essentially do that. So for example, let's say you swim the 500 or you run the 2 mile, or you run the mile, let's say, and your goal is to go under 5 minutes in either of those things, in swimming the 500 or running the mile. If you're currently at 6 minutes, you're going to want to set weekly goals, and you're going to want to and work with the coaches, and the coaches are going to want to work with you to set up micro goals along the way, so that you don't get frustrated when you don't meet your macro goal right away. So I don't know if anyone else wants to speak specific to that. Maybe Coach Dale, we haven't heard from you. How do you work with your athletes in setting goals?
The most important thing I would say to incoming ninth graders is the consistency of the training is the most important. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it should be consistent. So simply the athletes using a calendar where they might be checking off that 4 days a week they've been doing some kind of activity that's working toward improving them. The summer doesn't have to be saturated with training. It can be not a lot of volume, but the consistency is the key, is what I would pass on to them.
Anyone else?
All right, well, thank you, Dan, and thank you, coaches, for being here at the beginning of the summer. Like I said, we are recording this, we'll send this out, and we appreciate you being accessible to answering any questions through email over the summer. And again, can't emphasize enough, I know you share this feeling that, oh, it's so good to be back and to go, full steam ahead. So I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to all the participants, and we will look forward to seeing you this fall. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.